Bryan bit his lower lips in anger. Could it be that the red wine he drank was for Jeremy? Then and there, he started blaming himself for drinking it. What am I going to do now? Bryan said, looking down, and then he looked up before running into a nearby forest. I can't, Bryan mumbled, hugging a tree tightly as heat began to run down his head to his neck. Bryan ran back to his car, opening the door with shaky hands before entering and closing it. Let me just go home, Bryan thought inwardly, and ignited the engine before driving off. He disobeyed every traffic rule, but of course, he wasn't questioned, because he was the president's son. At the QUIN'S mansion. Immediately, Bryan entered the sitting room. He saw Samantha, who kinda looked worried. Bryan! Where have you been? We've been worried! Samantha ran to him and hugged him. Oh no, Samantha, why are you making things difficult? Bryan said, and fell down. His eyes and ears were red. Bryan! Samantha tapped him, but he wasn't bulging. Mrs. Quinn came forward and gave a sign to a guy who wrapped Bryan's arms around his neck and helped him into his room. Is he okay? Samantha asked worriedly, and Mrs. Quinn patted her back, calming her a little. I will call a doctor to attend to him, Mrs. Quinn said, and walked away while Samantha sighed, walking into Bryan's room. Bryan was turning and turning on the bed. Sometimes he would grind his teeth together in pain. Samantha came closer to him and felt his temperature. It was very hot. The doctor is here, Mrs. Quinn said, and the doctor ran in with a stethoscope hung around his neck as he checked Bryan. Mrs. Quinn, he was actually drugged, and not only drugged, he was poisoned as well, the doctor said, and everyone's eyes widened. Thankfully, it wasn't a death poison. The poison was just meant to make him weak and feel pain, but not death, the doctor said, and Samantha breathed a sigh of relief. Her heart couldn't stop beating fast immediately when she heard that he was poisoned. He will be okay when he wakes up. I will take my leave, Mrs. Quinn, the doctor said and left. Hope you will be okay. But who will try to kill Bryan? Samantha thought inwardly. Zach smirked as he searched his wardrobes, and when he felt the rough surface of the small container, he brought it out and opened it. The foul smell of a greenish liquid inside the container filled the room. He didn't cover his nose or something, but laughed evilly and sniffed in more. The smell of victory. He laughed as he deeped into his pocket. Nina, give this to your friend who is working at the QUIN'S mansion. Make sure she adds it to Samantha's food or a drink that will make her lose her memory, Zach said, and Nina smirked before collecting it and walking away. Adrian sighed as he saw Lily coming towards him. He was the one that asked her whether they could meet up. Hi, Adrian. Lily's cheeks flushed as she waved at him. Lily, there is something I want to talk to you about, Adrian said, and cleared his throat, like what he is about to say would hurt her deeply, and they both knew it. I just wanted to say that I know it. Lily cut him off. You don't like me, and I should stop having high hopes to avoid heartbreak. I know, and I understand, Lily added with a forced smile, but she knew deep inside that she was breaking. Bye, Lily said finally, and walked away. Next day, Samantha opened her eyes to see the bed empty. Damn it, he was supposed to be resting. Then she heard light scratching sounds making contact with a hard surface, and she knew he was brushing his teeth. First day being the school's queen bee, Samantha thought inwardly. I smell drama today, Samantha added and sighed. Forward to the dining room. Finally, am damn hungry, Samantha said, and grabbed her fork, but she paused when she finds out that Bryan isn't eating. Come here, Bryan ordered a maid who came closer. Taste each food that is served here, Bryan said. He doesn't want another drugged and poisoned incident to happen again. Never.